Alright, so we are following up on last week's failure of a tutorial, but I figured it out, so here it is. I've retraced my sketch with pen, and this is stuff that we've talked about earlier last week, adjusting levels. That's under layers, new adjustment layer. My roommate just tied a bandana onto my cat, and it's adorable. So I'll probably post a photo of that as well. But this is just some setup work. I am also cropping my image so that I can probably easily get it to other places. Just cleaning it up here. Cool. I kind of like the brown paper background, so I've kept that into the image. Okay, so next step, we're creating a new layer here, and we're going to start coloring in. But before start coloring in, you gotta make sure the blending mode is in multiply so that you can actually see the background where the line work is. This is inspired by some Chinese Bronze Age sacrificial vessel, but I wanted to give it a new look. Anyway, so the idea is that this is a frosted green perfume bottle. What I'm doing right now is hitting it with a base layer green. Not worrying so much about coloring outside the edges. I'll show you guys how to mask that out later. Okay. Boom. Light is going to be coming from the upper left-hand corner. So you see I'm darkening the parts where light is not hitting, giving that middle surface a middle tone green. And then I'm now going in to refine and hitting it with some low lights, noting the shadows. So this is going to start giving it the 3D effect. I'm using brushes that are not absolutely, that are opaque. Anything less than 50 is cool to work with, and here you can see I'm noting like particular surfaces are casting higher shadows, and now I'm going in with white. Again, not a solid white, just a little bit of white here to create highlights on my surfaces. Well, so these little notches that are sticking out. So going back in, filling in some of the shadows that I've missed. And then the grooves are cutting into the glass surface itself, so they also get a little shadow on some sides. So I'm going in and adding in those right now. And you can see I mess up sometimes. When you hit Shift and click, Photoshop automatically draws a straight line for you. So that's what I use to follow the lines that I've drawn with marker. You just can't hold down Shift and click because it remembers where your last click is, and sometimes you're on the other side of the page. Okay, so going in and making sure, you know, parts of the object are indeed correctly shaded. Okay, and so the next part here is masking off the parts that I colored in that I don't want to see. So you see I hit mask layer, which is on the bottom there on the layer menu. Fill the whole screen with black, and I'm going to go back with white. Keyboard shortcut X switches around foreground and background color. I started coloring in, and then you probably realize that it's not, like, opacity is pretty low on this white, so you'll see later on I go back and adjust that and bring the opacity back up to 100 because I want to see the whole image. Boop. There it is. And now the object is beginning to pop off of the page. Again, holding Shift and clicking makes this process way easier. Okay, and then adjusting brush size. That's a right click move. Right click, adjust this brush, brings up the menu to adjust your brush size. No, I'm just recording a quick tutorial. Hi guys, I'm at the dining table with my roommates. All good. So, like I mentioned, this is a two-part perfume bottle. There's the frosted green bottle and then probably a wood cap. And so I'm going to create a whole new layer just to color that in. It keeps things separated. I like to use layers to organize what I'm doing. Reminds me where things are. Keeps my process pretty clean. Oh, this is probably when I was looking up and talking to my roommates. That's why there was a pause on the screen. So again, when I create the new layer, blending mode is on multiply because you want to see all the layers underneath it. And I'm going to pick a good green here, good brown here to be my base layer color. Yep, that's the brown. And here we go, similar technique, big brush, 0% hardness, and low opacity. Again, it depends on preference. I just kind of go anything below 50% opacity is pretty easy to work with. Gives you some room for adjustment and mistakes. You can go over, give it a few passes to get the color that you want to achieve. And also, again, not worrying about coloring over the lines or overlapping with the green bottle part, because once we're done coloring here, we'll use the same technique, the masking layer, to cover up all the stuff that we don't want to see. I guess in another way to see it, we'll cover everything up and then only reveal the stuff that we want to see. And this is pretty simple. This is just a, two surfaces, and so one is lighter and one is darker. Again, light is coming from the top left corner. Again, I was probably looking up and talking to roommates during this point. Oh well. Probably could fast forward. You guys could probably fast forward this point. I don't know what I was looking at. Now, if you weren't here last time to watch me flounder, the masking layer is right there. It creates a hole. It creates a masking layer right there. And the same thing, fill the entire page with black. Go in with a brush tool, hit X, opacity at 100%, and just revealing what we want to show. There we go. There we go, Elaine. Okay, so at this point we're only missing one thing, which is the shadow. I'm just making sure I've revealed everything. So, oh, yep. Being a little meticulous here. And that's Charlie joining our tutorial. Tell him what to do. You tell him what to do. Okay. Just cleaning this up here. Again, so the last thing we're missing here is shadow. And shadow for this piece is pretty easy. If light is coming from right, left, then shadow is going to, I'm sorry, right, left, upper left. Shadow will be on the lower right. And you create a whole new layer to do that. I think what I did here is just drew it on. Yep. Create a whole new layer. Again, the blend mode multiply shows you everything that was below it. And here goes the herein goes the shadows. And that is pretty much it. This is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Good luck and good night.